Hi and welcome everyone to my new video. This is Lutz and today I'm going to show you how you can connect your Raspberry Pi or your Raspberry Pi Zero remotely to your computer using VNC. So let's go! So before we start with our configuration, you need to make sure that you have either SSH connection or you are working directly on your Raspberry Pi. If you don't know how to set up a Raspberry Pi SSH remote connection, look here into my previous video, there I explain how it works. So let's start with our configuration. The first thing we have to do is to make an update of our system that we have the correct software version. And the next thing we need to do is to install the software package. Normally in the installation of a Raspberry Pi you don't need to do this, so this is only necessary if you have a software version without a desktop support. So in that case you type sudo apt-get install and then it's real VNC server. And the other one you need also is real VNC viewer. So for me it's not necessary to do this because I already have a system with a standard software installation, so I don't need to do this. This is just for explanation. So if you have installed it, you go to the Raspberry configuration. And here you go to interface options and here's VNC, and after a few seconds it's coming back, and then you say yes, you want to enable VNC connection, and that's it. Now you could think, okay, I've done all I need. But the problem is with the new software release, there's a bug inside of the software. So the Raspberry tries to use the composite output, and the composite output does not support the resolution we normally have on a computer. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that the system is not using the composite port. So we go into the config file, and what we do is we set the frame buffer, we enable HDMI by force of hot plug, and we set a resolution to it. Here is important, this I changed before in my testing of the video, so make sure that you have here the right numbers, otherwise it gives you ugly resolution. So the last thing you need to do is to comment out this one here, and then you write it out and leave the nano. Afterwards you give them a reboot. So while the Raspberry is rebooting, you can download the VNC viewer from the website Real VNC. And when you install it, you get a viewer like this one. Then you say new connection. So here you need your IP address. If you're connected before over SSH, it's not a problem. Otherwise you go into the console and type ifconfig and figure out what your IP address is of your Raspberry Pi. Then you say OK and connect to it. Here you need your username and your password. And then you type in your password again. After a few seconds the system is booted and you can use your Raspberry with a good resolution. So I think that was really quick if you know how to set up your display settings. I hope you enjoyed the video and see you next time. Goodbye.